Hey, greetings everyone, Gleekon here again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. We kind of were darkening Medivh last time. He moved over to Karazhan, his burden being that he kind of has to be alone, according to his mom. And he learned that as a guardian, he's got to defend the entire world. And he's got all kinds of studying and stuff like that to do, and so much power. So it's kind of like a Spider-Man thing. With great power comes great responsibility. That was his burden, but he's also got the subtext there being the burden is a demon within. So stay a while and listen to this one, and now we're going to full on go to the Darkening. This is 10 years before the Dark Portal. So things are getting bad on Draenor as well. Between parties and galas, Medivh continued his studies. Egwin's words had a tremendous effect on him. He had fully embraced his destiny as the Guardian, and he was determined to learn how best to protect Azeroth. His libraries were filled with books about demonic lore, tactics, and powers. He devoured these writings as fast as he could. Then he turned his attention to Azeroth's own rich history. Medivh was inspired by the tales of the Legion's last invasion of Azeroth, the War of the Ancients. Different races and powerful creatures had come together to resist the unstoppable Burning Legion. He couldn't help but think of that war as the high-water mark for his world. Perhaps Azeroth could not match that glory again. The peoples of this world had spent millennia growing apart. Where once there had been purpose and unity, now there were only petty squabbles and bickering. And I'm sure those history books are glossing over the fact that there was petty squabbles and bickering between the races even then. His own experience had shown him that much. Trolls and humans had gone to war for insignificant reasons. The tribes, nations, and clans of Azeroth were happy to spill one another's blood for meaningless gains. It was as if no one on this world remembered that the Legion had not been destroyed in the War of the Ancients. It had only been temporarily defeated. If the demons invaded again, Azeroth would be too weak to throw them back. And they would invade again. Medivh had no doubts about that. Something radical needed to be done to prepare the world for their return. He sounds a lot like Illidan. Had Medivh known what dark force was leading him down this road of despair, had he known that Sargeras had once had a similar crisis of faith, he might have resisted. Yeah, that's also true. He also sounds like Sargeras. Instead, he embraced a final conclusion that mirrored Sargeras' own solution to the question of encroaching evil. Azeroth was fundamentally flawed. It would never change on its own. Never. Now, Sargeras' conclusion is so it should be destroyed. Let's see if Medivh agrees. Someone needed to break everything that created divisions in the world. Nations, cultures, governments, and kings. Azeroth was plagued with disorder. It needed a firm hand to change things. Medivh, the Guardian, would do what nobody else could. Medivh concluded that he needed allies to accomplish his mission. He needed an army. Medivh used his Guardian powers to venture beyond Azeroth and into the cosmos. He visited new worlds and unseen corners of the twisting nether. At first, he searched for signs of an imminent Legion invasion of Azeroth. He was relieved to find none. Azeroth would have some time to prepare, at least. Sargeras subtly influenced Medivh to focus on a particular world, Draenor. Upon observing this place, the Guardian discovered a mighty and warlike people known as the orcs. They were truly fearsome to behold in battle, and they were under the Burning Legion's control. For a number of years, Medivh watched the orcs. 10 years, just about, at least 8 or 9. He took on the form of a raven to travel across the land. That's the first we're hearing of that. Medivh famously can turn into a raven, so here's him being able to do that. A few orcs noticed this strange small bird, but it caused no alarm. Oh, ironically, the raven is also what the Arakoa, the worship, the outcasts. Medivh saw how effectively the orcs defeated the Draenei, and then he saw how the Legion suddenly discarded them. He saw how their world shriveled and died due to the effects of their fell power, and he saw how desperate they had become. The Horde had been easily manipulated by the Burning Legion. Medivh knew he could do the same. The orcs would serve as the perfect army to transform Azeroth forever. And even better, it would delight Medivh to use the Legion's own puppets against it. As Medivh worked toward this purpose, he collected his thoughts in writing. documenting his most powerful discoveries and magical techniques in a volume that would come to be known as the Book of Medivh. Interesting. I think this Book of Medivh must be the purpose of some quests. That's cool. Also, yeah, he's being played, and he thinks he's so clever. But, I mean, in this weird backward sort of way, he's not wrong. The Horde are going to become just as important in the fight against Sargeras and the Burning Legion. Okay, we're almost there, everyone. Another episode in the pipes, 5x5, and I will see you all on the next episode of Lore of Warcraft. Thank you for listening.